Hi guys, this is Amir from Centurion Modern Subject Control. Today we're going to go over a couple of options for a takedown and reversing a subject to handcuffing position. So we all learn the very basic armbar in the academy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, depending on execution, timing, and the subject. A lot of times once we start pushing down to get our armbar to take down, the person will start resisting and pushing back into us. So we're going to do a very simple outside wrist lock as they resist. So as Jeremy comes up, I'm going to let him come up. I'm going to ride this and feed this arm in. I'm going to figure four my own arm. Now the takedown is simply done with my feet. I'm not relying on my upper body strength. My outside leg is going to conduct a circular movement as I guide Jeremy down to the mat. Now this is an area that we run into a lot. We don't want to start beating on the subject. We're giving him loud verbal commands to roll over, get into handcuffing position, non-compliant. So I need to get him over onto his stomach with the least amount of force possible for optics, for his safety and my safety. So I'm going to take my outside leg here, the northern leg, the one closest to the head. I'm going to insert it behind his triceps tendon. My outside leg conducts the rowing the boat technique to get him rolled over. So my outside leg is going to circle around as I use this rowing motion to get him turned over. And once here, I'm going to make sure I'm cognizant about staying off the neck and spine by putting my weight on the scapula here, pinching the legs together. So a small detail here that's pretty important once I have Jeremy turned over is this pressure is staying off the spine, off the neck, staying down with the weight, and then I'm pinching my legs together, creating a fulcrum or an arm bar to keep the person extended. I'm also reinforcing this with a wrist lock. Now this hand is free to go to the mic, call for help, go to the handcuffs, and I have the subject controlled. So let's talk about some of the details here. Every technique that we do is going to fail. We have to make sure our officers understand that every technique is going to fail. We need to have a synergistic technique to pick up the slack when that technique fails us. So I'm going for my armbar here. I got the extension. The person starts fighting. His natural instinct is to pull his arms back in. As he does that, I'm not going to continue to fight. I'm going to ride that back, reinforce here. Now, I have a good grip here, and I figure for it. I'm not going to rely on my upper body strength to finish the takedown. What I'm going to do is use my footwork. I'm going to lower my stance, circle around. Again. Show you guys a different angle here. I'm doing my armbar. He fights and pulls back in. Figure four. Outside leg circles, and I have control here. Now I need to get Jeremy turned over. He's not complying with my verbal commands to roll over to his stomach for handcuffing. We don't handcuff people in this position. I need to get him proned out. So I put my shin bone behind the triceps tendon. I have a slight bend in my knee. I have to make sure the thumb is inverted to expose the body of Golgi in the triceps tendon. Shin pressure, circular movement with the outside leg, and a rowing motion, just like rowing a boat. So from here, I'm rowing and I'm circling. Row, circle. I need to get onto this shoulder as fast as I can to prevent him from rolling out. Weight down, off the spine, off the neck. My knees have an orientation to the south towards his hips. If I'm at a 90, I run a higher risk of landing on the spine or on the neck. We're staying off the spine, off the neck, weight pinned down, keeping the shoulder flat to the ground. My legs are pinching together, creating a fulcrum here, or an arm bar. I also reinforce that with this wrist lock. So I have two joint locks, as well as my weight, holding him down. This hand is free to go for a call for help, or go to handcuffing and give him verbal commands to get that other arm out. Biggest areas that we're going to run into issues when you're teaching your officers this technique. Once we have the person down, to get them rolled over, a lot of officers will over-penetrate with this knee and end up by the shoulder. We want to keep this shin bone right on the triceps tendon, so about an inch north of the elbow on the distal aspect of the arm, right about here. The second issue that we're going to run into is officers pulling straight back on the arm and not a circular motion. So we really need to emphasize the circular motion, allowing the shoulder to rotate, proning the subject out. Third issue we're going to run into is too much of a delay here, allowing the subject to roll. So once they land, we're reinforcing that position by putting the knee completely off the neck, completely off the spine, pinching the legs together, having an armbar here, reinforcing this wrist.